Hello, I'm Theodore Parker, and this is the Side Show. And today is Monday, November 14th, 2022. It's promising to go up to about 46 degrees today. And overnight it was 25, felt like 21. So you might want to check your thermostat depending on how cold it gets where you are. Put on that emergency heat selection. Try to contain that heating bill a little bit. Mask. Again, if your positivity rate for COVID-19 is over 5%, the suggestion is to wear the mask going out around people. Also, it's the flu season. CDC has also put out a caution for RSV, respiratory seasonal virus, which mostly affects young people or children. So you might want to add that to your list of things to be aware of. Sideshow. Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. If you're watching on any of these, like, comment, and share as below the video. If you're watching on Google/YouTube, same, like, comment, and subscribe. Sideshow with Theodore Parker. And reminding you again, opportunity is still there for you to purchase a Sideshow coffee cup for the outstanding price of $8. Well, they say, holla. Over the weekend, stuff went on. We had football and all this other kind of stuff. And there were also a couple of, there should be mass shootings, especially at the University of Virginia. 3 killed and 2 injured by a former football player, black man. At the time was dressed in a red jacket, jeans, and red tennis shoes. Still at large. There were a couple other mass shootings that involved a 12-year-old and some other young children. And court cases. Parkland shooter was sentenced to life without parole. The person who ran into the parade last year during Christmas time is due to be seen in court or due in court this week. So that's another thing. Over the past few days, last week, in Louisville, Grandmaster Jay, a resident of Ohio, from the period when there were protests going on about the death of Breonna Taylor, was sentenced to 7 years. Don't know all the particulars, but there was a small group of people there that kept track and protested and didn't think the sentencing was fair. But if my memory serves me, the accusation was him pointing a weapon at some federal agents that were on the roof. But also some of the particulars persist that it was near or around or on Churchill Downs property. And they had been asked as a group, because he had armed people with him, to move several times and ended up in another location to keep them from interfering with the passing and goings of people enjoying Churchill Downs. So 7 years for Grandmaster J. John Johnson. Looking at the football game, all of a sudden a commercial comes on, and I'm paying some attention, but not really, but it goes through its little areas and shots and things like that. And I see a sign that's being held somebody. The person had their back to the camera, but the sign was readable. It said, "God hates us." Now, this kind of set me back. I'm like, okay, I've been around for a while, and I've heard a lot of things, but I never heard anybody say God hates us. And then I said, well, what kind of person would think that, then put it out there? But since it was a commercial, I kind of like said, okay, I'll take it with a grain of salt, because for as long as I can remember, it's always been, God loves you, and when nobody else will sometimes. But it just struck me, so I thought I would put it out there. Politics. Those states that still have runoffs remaining is because neither candidate received 50% or more of the vote. Particularly Herschel Walker in Georgia, scheduled for December, or at least one of those situations. So, politics continues. Instagram, one of Facebook's properties. A Nigerian was put in jail for 11 months, or sentenced to 11 months in jail, for fraud related to real estate deals. He was particularly known on Instagram for his flashy lifestyle and expensive automobiles, which he displayed on his Instagram account. Then you move on to, did I say that? Should I have said that? Or why didn't I just keep my mouth closed? Kanye West, as if losing money was not enough, Farrakhan kind of spoke up in his behalf. Everybody black knows who Farrakhan is. And he refused the support that Farrakhan was giving him, and went so far as to go further and start making comments about the death of Michael Jordan's father being connected to the Illuminati. So it made me really ponder that sometimes you just cannot talk to people in a reasonable fashion or reasonable manner and get them to understand the error of their ways, especially in comments that come out of their mouth. So again, it's a reminder, engage your brain before you put your mouth in gear. But turning right back around, Kanye flies his staff from Cali, California, to Nevada to work. So you have this and you have that. But it does speak to reason with so many money people, billionaires in particular, losing tons of it on the stock market, other decisions that they are making and things of this nature. Mark Zuckerberg in particular, but he's not by himself, so we're not going to pick on him alone. But it phrases back to that expression, money can't buy you happiness. Sure, I want more than I can spend at one time, and don't spend it all in one place. But money in and of itself, if you're not able to enjoy it, not able to get the proper perspective on it, will probably just drive you batty. So money does not necessarily bring you happiness. It's what you do with yourself, your inside self, your mental self, your emotional self. And last but not least, your caring self. Care about you, you care about me, we work together, we get things done, keep it moving in the positive. So, it's also been noticed by me the amount of female celebrities that are appearing in public with sheer see-through dresses. The names just keep falling out there. So-and-so had a sheer dress. This one had a sheer dress. That one had a sheer dress. The latest one was Lori Harvey, but her outfit was cute. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it because I'm not a fashion reporter. But anyway, it's all white. And it had a hood attachment, but the hood also, you could put your arms in the sleeves and come over and come across the shoulders. Then the dress came up and you had the bodice area and, that fall gown type look and so forth. And the back was exposed and it had a unique look. So I'm saying females in particular running around with sheer outfits, gives one a moment to think, how far can you go? But just when I'm thinking this, I see another thing posted on the internet. Woman claims she was married for 10 months and didn't know she had married a woman. How is that possible? How is that possible? Well, she claimed it. But then I guess the added point would be transgender is still knocking on the door if it hasn't already been opened. So you got to keep your eyes open on what's going on. Barack and Michelle recently had their portraits put on display at the White House as commissioned by the White House Portrait Society. But that's just some of the things that's in the news. But this one about Obama, going back to sometimes man's inhumanity to man. Do we love each other? Do we care about each other? Does it matter what happens, to one another? Or is this just, let it all go, for whatever reasons? Anyway, it has to do with Twitter. Twitter's been in the news. Elon Musk bought it for $44 billion, borrowed $13 billion, and start charging people, what was it, $7.99 for them to verify their Twitter account. But there are a lot of people on the internet, especially on social media, that have put up or fostered bad accounts. I mean, I've looked at Twitter myself and tapped the display and come to find out this account has been deleted or this account is not valid or something else as a statement. So that's just me as a common man down here at the grassroots level getting experience that the big wigs up there in executive suites are talking about. So anyway, talking about popular quotes. Barack Obama has been given the recognition of having the most popular quote on Twitter. And it's based on the Charleston incident that happened in 2017. And the article is set up again, but it's updated to say that the latest counts from Wednesday of last week were announced on Saturday over the weekend. So the story goes like this. This is Obama is at Sasha's fourth grade school at the time, and he is visited and he's coming out, and across the street or near where the school is, there is a daycare center. And the picture's on display such as I'm describing it. And he notices some little children hanging around the window. So he decides to go over and say hello. So in the process of this happening, the photographer that was with him took the picture. So the little kids are in the window and he has his jacket over his shoulder and he's like saying hello to them. So this comes out of that and out of the Charleston situation with those people being killed there at the church. So the quote is this: "No one is born hating another person because of his skin or his background or his religion. So, the former president's message after the violence in Charleston, Virginia was brief, but it hit the right notes for many. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. Barack Obama tweeted, accompanied by a photo of himself, jacket slung over his shoulder, smiling at 4 young children gathered at a windowsill. Twitter has announced that Saturday's tweet is the most liked tweet ever. It attracted more than 3.3 million likes and 1.3 million retweets as of Wednesday morning. Obama tweets infrequently in his post-presidential life, but in a couple of tweets, he added a few more words from former South African President Nelson Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom. In this message quoted by Obama, Mandela writes, "I never lost hope that this great transformation would occur, not only because of the great heroes I have already cited, but because of the courage of the ordinary men and women of my country. I always knew that deep down in every human heart there is mercy and generosity. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of our guards. Perhaps for just a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished." Nelson Mandela, former South African president, in his book, Long Walk to Freedom. 2 other tweets by Obama in the top 5 most liked, one in which he calls John McCain an American hero, and one just hours after his presidency ended in which he jokes, "Is this thing still on?" Drop the mic. So, something to think about. Monday, November 14th, 2022. This is a Sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. Sideshow cups, $8. That's it. Hashtag.